and welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today I've got 5 more super easy Easter gift ideas to share with you that I think you're really going to enjoy. These are great for hostess gifts. They're great for party favorites if you want to put them on your Easter table. Good for co-workers. If you want to know how to make them, stick around. I'll show you how. Thank y'all so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Right, Maxwell? And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I would love it if you would hit that button. Okay, for this first one, I'm using a terracotta pot that measures 2.5 by 2.5, and I'm just painting this with some white chalk paint. And I'm going to paint the inside and the outside both. And I'm just using a large paintbrush because it does load a lot of paint on there, and I'll give you the link for it, and just get it completely covered. Now, a lot of you ask me why I use chalk paint over acrylic paint. On the terracotta pots, the chalk paint dries really fast. I got these napkins from Amazon, and I'm just going to take 2 of the back pieces off. So this is like a 3-ply napkin, and you're just going to remove both of the 2 pieces on the back. You're just going to use the front on this. Then I'm going to take this and I'm going to tear it. I'm not going to cut these pieces out. I'm just going to kind of tear it, and I'm just trying to get some of the floral part in here, and I'm going to tear them into kind of small pieces. Don't worry about them matching up because we're going to decoupage these, and when you overlap it, you'll never even notice that they're not all blended together. So just pick out several of them that have flowers on it. You can pick some of the green too, but I'm kind of primarily picking pieces that have the purple and the red on them. Now I'm just tearing them into some small size pieces. To attach these, I'm just using some matte Mod Podge and just kind of put it on there. Now when you're using a little sponge brush, it'll kind of go over this without tearing it so much. So kind of lightly brush it like that, but then you're going to use like a plastic wrap over the top of it to kind of smooth it out. But it does kind of work pretty good with the brush, just kind of going over the edges just to kind of get it smoothed out. And I'm going to go fast on this, but I want you to see I'm overlapping pattern over pattern, and once you get it done, it looks so pretty. You don't have to try to match up the patterns or anything like that. Just really overlap several different colors of patterns over the top of the other patterns. And I'm going to do the top, and I'm going to go down into the inside as well. And then that way it'll kind of blend in good. Just kind of fold it right there at that ledge, and then go over the top and then fold it inside the flower pot. It's your fingers that cause you to tear your paper. So if you get glue on your fingers and then you start touching your paper, that's when your paper starts to tear. So we're going to grab some cellophane and kind of smooth the rest of this out. Definitely use the cellophane because it really is a game changer. And then I'm using freezer paper on the bottom of my project on the table because it won't stick to that if I want to stand it up there. And the busier the pattern that you have, the prettier it is. And the more you overlap in different sections, the more it blends together. Now, I know it doesn't look like that when you're doing it, but once you get it completely done, you'll see how nicely it's blended together. If you want to speed up the drying process, just grab an embossing gun or a blow dryer. Just keep going till you have it completely covered, and then set that aside to dry. Next, I got these little wooden eggs from Hobby Lobby, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to tear all my little pieces up into small pieces, and then I'm going to cover the egg as well. Now, you can use just a regular plastic egg if you want to, but you will need to paint it white first. Just using the same Mod Podge and the same method to attach these to this egg. Just overlap them, just kind of smooth them out a little bit, and then we're going to use a little bit of the plastic wrap just to hold all this together. And then after I got going for a while, because you're holding it in your hand, I learned a little bit of a trick as I go, and I'll show you that here in just a second. But just continue to overlap the different patterns, and then this will all be so pretty when you get done. Just going to smooth it out with the plastic wrap just like you did on the flower pot. Now then I figured out if you just hold it in your hand with the plastic wrap, you don't risk your fingers tearing any of the paper off. So I just ended up holding it and doing the rest of the project while I still had it in the plastic wrap. It works so much easier. And then just keep going till you have your egg completely covered. And then just set it aside and let it dry. I'm going to put a final coat of the Mod Podge over the top. And I'm going to put it on the flower pot and the egg both. Just a real light coat just to kind of seal it in. Next, to attach the egg to the flower pot, I'm just going to take a cork and I'm just going to glue it right down into the bottom. And then I'm going to glue my egg right on top of that cork. That way it'll just stand straight up. And I'm just going to use some Spanish moss just to fill the rest of it. And just use a little skewer just to kind of stick it down in there. And then to give it a little bit of color, I'm just going to add a few little green little boxwoods on the outside edge. These would be so pretty on your dining room table as party favors for your guests. They're just a real pretty little easy decor. It off, I'm putting a little dollop of glue on the back. I'm going to add my ribbon, and then I'm just going to tie this off into a bow. Pretty simple. To package these, I'm just putting these into a little cellophane bag. This one is a 5.5 by 11-inch bag, and I'm just going to box up the corners, tie a ribbon around the top, and I'm going to add a tag. Now, I've given you the tags in the description below. All you got to do is download them and cut them out. Just adding a clear rubber band at the top just to hold it together, and then boxing in your sides means that you're just putting a piece of tape on the very bottom part and tucking them up underneath. Now I'm going to kind of go quickly on this because all of these are being bagged today, the same tags, and all of them are going to have a ribbon around them. So just tie a nice ribbon, take some baker's twine to add your tag, and then just place it right up underneath that ribbon and tie it into the back. All right, that was pretty easy. Look how cute that is. Okay, for this next one, I'm using some of the little parfait cups from the Dollar Tree and some crepe paper. Now, my crepe paper measures 9.8 inches in length by 98 inches across. And I'm coming down about 4¼ inches. I just want the top part of the crepe paper to overhang the top part of my little jar. Now, you don't have to use these little jars. You could actually use solo cups and do the exact same thing. And I'm cutting across the entire roll. And again, these are 98 inches once you roll them out. Now you could at this point go ahead and roll it out and then cut it in half, but I'm going to do this together. I'm just threading a upholstery needle. I'm coming right through the middle with some heavy duty thread, and I'm just going to start making 1/4 inch stitches till I get all the way to the other end. Actually, there may be more like 1/2 inch stitches. You're just kind of gathering it. We're going to gather this is what we're doing. So just kind of take your time to make sure you kind of stay in a straight line, and you're going to go all the way to the other side. And if you have a sewing machine, you could actually gather this on a sewing machine if you wanted to. Okay, once you get to the end, go ahead and pull your needle out. Just make sure that you have enough string on both sides. So kind of feel your way through this. Make sure you have plenty of string extra on both sides. And then we're just going to kind of draw it up a little bit. I'm going to kind of find my center point in this, and then I'm going to pull the thread in the center up, and then I'm going to cut these 2 in half. Because I want to make 2 out of this, but it was easier just to gather it all at one time. And then I'm just going to kind of reach into the center, and I'm going to divide this in half. So kind of find a little center point, pull your thread up till you have about a couple inches on each side, and then cut that in half, and then cut your crepe paper in half. And that way you'll have enough for 2 of the little dessert cups. And then I'm just going to tie it up together, wrap it around my little glass, and then I'm just going to tie it in a knot. And then I'm going to straighten all my pleats up after I get it tied together. Just pull it tight, and that's why you need a thick thread. You don't want it to pop right there. And you could use string even if you want to, because you are going to cover this up with a ribbon at the end. And then just kind of straighten out your pleats so it goes all the way around, and then just start gluing it in. And I'm not using a lot of glue. I'm just kind of going around the top edge and kind of pushing it up there. And you can get this pretty even once you start playing with it a little bit, but it doesn't take long to get it pretty evened out. Next, I'm just taking a ribbon and putting it right around the center, and I'm going to tie it kind of tight. This will kind of help cover up all those strings that you just did, and it'll kind of blouse it out at the top and kind of blouse it out at the bottom. And I just got my ribbon at Hobby Lobby. It's just a little polka dotted ribbon, and I think it's maybe about a 1/2 inch. Next, I got a piece of purple cardstock. I'm going to cut a 1/2 inch strip by 11 inches, and this is going to be for the handle. And I'm just putting a little glue on both sides and just gluing it right to the inside. And to feel this, I'm just using some brown crinkle paper, and then I got these little chocolate eggs at the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to fill the basket full of these. All right, look how cute that is. This was super simple. And then to package this one, you are going to need the 13 by 7-inch bag. Just kind of shimmy it on down into the bottom, add a rubber band around it, and then we're going to box the corners on this one as well. And then just add your ribbon, add your tag, and that was pretty much it. This was really a pretty one. These turned out so pretty. Okay, for this next one, I'm using 2 of the salt and pepper shakers from Dollar Tree. I'm going to remove the lid, and I'm going to take them outside and spray paint them with some flat white primer. Next, like the previous project, we're going to decoupage this. So you're going to take the 2 layers off the back of this napkin. We're just going to tear this into little pieces. Now, this is really good to use a napkin that has a solid pattern all over it because you can overlap it pretty easily without it even showing. Next, you're just going to take your plastic wrap, put your little vase in it. We're going to start adding Mod Podge to it and start adding our tissue paper or our napkin to it. And just kind of randomly place these on there. Just kind of take your paintbrush to kind of smooth them out a little bit. And then you're just going to overlap until you have everything completely covered up. Now you want to take your plastic wrap and go into the grooves of that salt and pepper shaker. That way it'll give it a little bit of character and it'll be a little bit prettier because it does have the texture of the vase. And I'm going to kind of go fast on this because I did already decoupage once in this video, but you'll kind of see what I'm doing. And I am covering the entire thing with the decoupage. I'm going to do the bottom, the top. I'm going to go inside the neck a little bit, but I'm covering it completely. Coming around the curves, you may have to do a little slit every once in a while just to kind of get it to cut in there. And these really don't take that long to do, and look how pretty those are. After those have dried, you're going to add another coat of Mod Podge over the top. To dress them up a little bit, I'm just adding a bow right to the front. These, I've just got these little flowers from Dollar Tree. These actually were really pretty flowers this year. Hold them in. I'm just taking a pool noodle. I'm cutting it in about a 1/2-inch strip. Then I'm going to just cut this strip in half. And then just run your greenery down inside of this. It'll hold it in place. And then when you put it inside the salt shaker, it just stays. You don't even have to glue it in. It just holds in really well. And I'm using 3 flowers per little jar. To package this, I'm putting these into a 5.5 by 11-inch little bag. Just pull it all the way down to the bottom and then tape in your sides. Just kind of put them boxed in. Then tie a ribbon around the front, tie it to a bow, add your tag, and this was pretty much it. This was a super simple one, and you could use these actually for home decor as well. Look how pretty that is. Okay, for this next one, I'm using 3 of the 4-cup coffee filters. You want to separate them and then put them back together. Next, I'm just using some little markers, and I'm just going to draw a bunch of lines inside of it. Just kind of scribble a bunch of color inside of these. And I'm using 2 different colors of pink. I'm using one on the outside and one on the inside. Just kind of get them scribbled up there real good. We're going to start spritzing the inside and the outside with some water. Now you are going to put these into like a paper cup or a plastic cup, whatever you have, to let them dry. And then that will start blending through and spreading throughout the coffee filters. And then the color will blend really pretty. And then to speed up the drying process, you could use a blow dryer or an embossing gun, and then put some heat source on the top of it to kind of open up those coffee filters. Those have dried. We're going to take 2 2-inch pieces of wood round, and we're going to glue these together. Now this is for the base. You could use anything that's about that same size just for the base, but you need to have something that's solid in the bottom. Handles, I'm taking 2 1/2-inch by 11-inch pieces of cardstock, and I'm going to glue these to the bottom of that wood round. You're going to put 1 on each side. And then we're going to glue this right to the bottom of our little basket. Just open it up, put a little bit of hot glue right in the center, and then just push that down. And then we're going to put a little bit of glue all the way around to hold all that together. Just go all the way around and just start gluing that up. Attach our handles. We're just going to come down on one side, glue that one in down at the bottom, and then put the other one over the top and glue it on the opposite side. And then to hold the other two filters onto this basket, we're just going to put a little bit of spot glue on both sides just to kind of hold that in. Dress it up a little bit. I'm just going to take a rubber band, put it right around the bottom edge, and then I'm going to cover that with a ribbon. And I'm just going to tie that off into a bow. These were pretty quick and easy, and these are very inexpensive to make. And then kind of fluff your basket up a little bit, kind of pull the layers apart a little bit just to kind of fluff it up. And then add just a little dot of glue to the back to hold that ribbon in place. And then I'm just going to fill these with some candy. This was pretty easy. Okay, to package these, you're going to need a 13 by 7 inch bag, and you're just going to add your ribbon and your tag. Look how cute that is. Last time when I'm using the Dollar Tree candy eggs that have the candy rings in them, I'm going to use 2 pieces of tissue paper, and then I'm going to use some plastic gift wrap the same size as the tissue paper. So you're just going to cut 1 of the plastic to 2 of the tissue paper. And then flip it over, and we're going to start using it on the back. And we're going to put our egg right in the center, and we're just going to pull our tissue paper up first, just kind of pull it up around it, and then we're just going to turn it over and hook all of it together. Just kind of fold it all up there together, and we're going to put a rubber band to hold this together. Just kind of straighten out your paper a little bit. This is a really quick and easy one, and these look so cute when they're done. And I'm just using a clear rubber band. I'll give you the link for those. And then you're going to pull your cellophane paper up over the top of that and do exactly the same thing. Just kind of pull it all up and then put a rubber band around the bottom to hold it together as well. And then we're going to trim a lot of this off here in a minute. And just kind of pull all this up to the top, and then just take your scissors and cut straight across. Pull your plastic back a little bit and just take the tissue paper, and we're going to cut it a little bit shorter. And I'm just going to tie a ribbon around the front, tie it off in a bow, add my tag, and that's pretty much it. This is an easy way to package a $1.25 gift. All right, look how cute that is. Okay, I hope you liked the video today. I'd love to know in the comments which one's your favorite today. These all make great gifts for coworkers, hostess gifts. They are pretty on your place setting at Easter time. If you like these kind of videos, be sure and give me a like, subscribe, and don't forget to ring that bell so you're notified when I have a new video upload. Thank y'all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And if nobody's told you today, you're awesome. See you next time. Thanks for watching.